What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday night. Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
And I'm Miguel.
And super packed show tonight. Lots of stuff that we're getting ready to talk about. We're going to open the show by talking about Kevin Feige on Marvel Studios' next big saga. We're going to kind of chat about that a little bit because there's been some news that came out about who the next big bad might be. The next couple of months are going to be really important for kind of figuring out the direction of Marvel Studios over the next couple of film cycles. And then the heat, the main event, the bread and butter of tonight's conversation is going to be on Halloween Ends. We're going to talk where the trailer is. I know that's kind of the big question. Everybody is wondering where the trailer is at. And we have our thoughts on that as well. We're going to talk what comes next. There's been some talk of the rights changing for the Halloween franchise. We're going to talk some recent remarks that Jason Blum has made about other horror franchises that he would like to possibly be able to get his greasy little fingertips on. Not to say that Jason Blum has greasy fingertips. I'm sure he has lovely fingertips, but lovely.
I'm sure they're moisturized. Lovely flame.
But so that's gonna be the main event, and we're gonna preface this. I mean, you know, this is no inside information. We don't have sources. We've talked about that. There's people on YouTube that do, and they do a great job with that. This is gonna be
all just speculations.
A speculation, a fun time to sit, hang out with each other, talk about our thoughts, and it's gonna be a good time. So I'm gonna turn it over to the sexy dude to the right. He really puts the wind in my sails. So Miguel, my friend, how you doing?
I was wondering who you were referring to. I was like,
Miguel's
someone else in that podcast room with you. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Jason Blum, everybody. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? He just pops up at the bottom. Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, and you know how the friends have that fucking when a guest star comes in and everyone's like,
wow! Yeah, everybody's freaking out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how you doing?
No, it's just Miguel. Doing good right now, man.
It's just Miguel.
It's just Miguel. Yeah. No,
Gloominess.
It's all good. It's a Sunday evening. I'm just relaxing until we start the work week again. Because this is my time to escape, believe it or not.
It is. A little bit different. I know we haven't even had a live show this week just because there's been a lot going on. But we hope everybody has had an awesome weekend. I've been looking forward to tonight all week. There's so much garbage going on in the world right now. Really nice time to just hang out, talk some movies we love. And we appreciate everybody that's taking the time out of their weekend to hang with us as well. I will say we've got a couple of channel updates, all good things. That we were hoping to talk about tonight, but we'll discuss those more on Tuesday when we review The Black Phone in our 81st episode. So we're going to be live Tuesday night at 8 p.m. back on hopefully more of a normal schedule. We're going to see it tomorrow night. Heard great things about it. I think it's I haven't checked in a couple days, but it's still at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
It's still catching a lot of fucking headway, I'll be honest.
It is. I've heard a lot of really, really good things about it. So we're going to check out The Black Phone. We'll post our spoiler-free review from the parking lot, as we always do as soon as we walk out of the theater.
From the parking lot, yeah.
So it's funny when we do those because people always look like we always get really weird looks when we're like, hey, you know what I mean? Holding our phones up and talking, I don't know. We get weird looks. But I wanted to start this off too. Miguel, I don't know if you've seen this, but Tobey's Spider-Man movies have been trending because they put them. I don't know why they're not. I don't know how it works with what they put on Disney Plus when. But they put all three of Tobey's Spider-Man movies with the Amazing Spider-Man films font on Disney Plus in other countries, but I don't think it's on Disney Plus in Canada or the US or in the UK. I don't know why, but they're trending. Tobey's movies have been trending on Twitter and on it's the most watched thing on Disney Plus today is Tobey's Spider-Man movies. So,
well, I mean, I'd say how can I say this properly? No one cares outside the fucking United States. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure everyone enjoys it. I can't really speculate onto what could be the possibility of that. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's just there. It's an amazing trilogy. Let's be real. Everybody wants to crap on Spider-Man 3, but it's
who's
freaking amazing.
Who's crapping on
No,
Sam Raimi's trilogy?
well, not on the trilogy, but everybody always craps on Spider-Man 3, which it's okay. It had its issues. I'm not saying it didn't. It 100% did. It's the weakest of the three, but weak is a loose term. It's still a freaking monument of a movie. So let's hop right into talking about Marvel. Kevin Feige. I'm going to go ahead and pull the article up here. Kevin Feige did an interview with Variety. Well, I don't even if it wasn't an interview. I saw this on Variety. Let me pull this article up. Kevin Feige is giving a little bit of insight and a little bit of a tease, just a little tease of the tongue, into this saga that we're currently in, this saga that we're building. I've we've talked about this before. I think it's very clear that this is the multiverse saga. I think when you're given WandaVision, given Spider-Man No Way Home, given Multiverse of Madness, given Loki, given the tease of Kang, even though we haven't really seen full-on Kang yet, I think that this is the beginnings of the multiverse saga, and there's a lot that we can do with that, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Are you in agreement with that, Miguel? Like, do you think this is the workings of the next big saga?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that because I mean, to be honest, we didn't even get the title, the Infinity Saga, until like Endgame was already over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're not willing to name it right now because they probably don't even know what the fuck they're going to name it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hinting at the multiverse, but I mean, that's only if the multiverse is actually hitting off the ground. People are wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
So, if, obviously, this whole multiverse idea is coming into fruition, so people are liking a lot more and people are really starting to get, ahead of it. So, I think that they will start labeling it as the multiverse saga because they probably think it's a good idea to just go ahead and get the marketing for that title as soon as it starts running off the ground, as compared to like it being the end and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this is, you guys already know this, but this is the multiverse saga. You know what I mean? So it makes more sense for them to like figure out what it's going to be called now.
Well, and it's fun with Marvel because even more, like, there's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of rumors, I guess you could call them, going on with Halloween, which we're going to get to those later. But Marvel is fun because the thing about Marvel and DC, although DC is a diarrhea mess right now, the thing with Marvel is there's so many characters and there's so many different directions that they could go. The speculation is so much fun. You know what I mean? It's so much fun to sit and be like, well, this could happen, but this could also happen. And there's like 8 or 9 different choices that all seem logical places to go. And, they always, like Kevin Feige always wants to keep you guessing. They always want to keep you kind of, they're if you can see 3 feet ahead of you, they can see like 300 feet ahead of you. Like, it's just, they're always
if you think you can see
ahead.
Yeah, if you think you can see one movie ahead, then just wait. They're literally already thinking about the next saga. Like, I'm pretty certain of it.
100%. Well, he said we reported on that a while ago. He said they had a writer's retreat to plan out like the next decade of Marvel Studios content. I mean, it's like, by the way, have you watched any of Miss Marvel?
I have not. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm sorry. Just haven't been able to get into that.
I haven't watched the 3rd episode yet. We had COVID going on last week, and I didn't have it, but Julia had it. So we were busy and stuff. But the first 2 were pretty good. I enjoyed them. They were fun. It's different. It's more of a teen. It's like a teen comedy drama type deal. You know what I mean? Like a dramedy. Like, it's just it's fun. I mean, it's good. I mean, the actors are good. It's fun. So I haven't checked out the 3rd episode yet. It's starting to kind of, I don't know, I feel like the Marvel shows have gone through that though. Like, I feel like it takes, at least for me, even with Loki, even with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even with WandaVision, it almost feels like it takes it like halfway through a season to completely hook me. And that's how I've kind of
Mm-hmm.
felt about the Marvel shows. And I mean, this one, I just don't think I've seen enough yet to be like, okay, I want to see the next one really bad. Like, it's fun. It's been good. It's been a good watch. So let's go over to this article on Variety. Kevin Feige promises MCU fans next saga will become clear as Phase 4 nears its end. And it's hard to believe we're already at the end of Phase 4. But I mean, all we have left is Thor: Love and Thunder and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So, and Ms. Marvel, of course, but it's hard to believe we're already there. So, the article reads the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 4 has included box office blockbusters like the billion-dollar grossing Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which made $942 million worldwide. Plus, the MCU's first foray into television with hits like WandaVision and Loki. But what Phase 4 has lacked for is but what Phase 4 has lacked for a majority of MCU fans is a sense of narrative drive and cohesion. As Variety's Adam B. Very wrote last month, instead of incremental escalation of the Infinity Saga, there is no sense yet of where Phase 4 is heading, if indeed it is heading in any single direction. Now, we know of course they're heading in a direction. We know that Marvel Studios they always have the next thing planned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not just going to ambiguously like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. That's what DC's doing. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I hate on DC, and I know people hate me for it, but
I
I
don't think I've
love the
ever heard someone like hate on you for hating DC. I've always seen like, yeah, I mean, not pretty valid. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
love the DC characters, but what they've done with the DCEU is just complete garbage. And then you add on the stuff with Ezra Miller and the stuff with Amber Heard, and the fact that they're getting rid of Henry Cavill. It's just like I'm like, bro, I don't even care anymore. Just get. We did a whole show about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
So,
just get rid of it. Whatever. I'm done. Done. Um, so as of now, the MCU has a handful of dangling cliffhangers that don't appear to have any connection to one another and that don't appear to be building towards a franchise uniting endgame. There's Doctor Strange teaming up with Clea to fix an incursion in the multiverse. There's Erisham from Eternals placing the planet on trial. There's a drop of Venom's alien symbiote goo left in the same universe as Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and so on. Here's where it gets interesting. According to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, clarity about the MCU's direction will start in the coming months. Yes, this was on Total Film. I apologize. It wasn't an interview with Variety. The MCU boss told Total Film magazine that while clues about the MCU's future have been baked into the existing four titles, the larger game plan for the franchise will start taking shape more directly with the remaining four titles. Here's what Kevin Feige had to say. As we're nearing the end of Phase 4, I think people will start to see where the next saga is going. I think there have been many clues already, that are at least apparent to me of where this whole saga is going. But we'll be a little more direct about that in the coming months to set a plan so audiences want to see the bigger picture can see a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more of the roadmap. Now, let's look. The article goes on to say the upcoming Phase 4 movies include Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and The Marvels. On the television side, the MCU is currently airing Ms. Marvel and has She-Hulk: Attorney at Law and Secret Invasion on the way, among other titles. With Ms. Marvel, lead Iman Vellani starring in the second Captain Marvel film, and Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror debuting in the next Ant-Man, the character being a variant of the Loki villain He Who Remains, MCU fans have already been bracing for more connective tissue among the installments. So let's pause there because it kind of dives in a different place after that. There was a lot that was just said. So we have Kevin Feige saying, as we're nearing the end of Phase 4, we're going to see where we're going. They're going to start dropping more hints, and it's going to be clear. To me, that said, not only about the direction of this saga, but the next big bad. That's a big, big question that I know a lot of people have had. To me, there's two right answers here. But we'll kind of go to those in just a minute. Miguel, what are your thoughts on what Kevin Feige said about dropping these little hints about this saga over the next couple of months?
So right now, as you can see, like what he's doing is basically laying the foundations, or at least running off the same formula that he had a while back when it came to like when it started with Iron Man, then Thor, and then Incredible Hulk, and then how it started with Captain America. Like he's just laying like good foundations and a good like he's broadening the world again, just
Yeah,
so he can condense it into to a story that he actually wants. If you think about it,
right.
because he basically like when it came to Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, like he brought somebody that a present day time with advanced technology during that time, and then he brought a war hero from history. Then he brought Thor, who is another being from another world. Which, if you guys
Hmm.
remember back then, like out of this world, like movies didn't really hit unless it was like big like blockbuster stuff like Avatar and like Star Trek and Star Wars. Like
Well, and it
unless
was it was standalone.
yeah, and it was very much standalone ish if you think about it. There was like small little hints, at the very end. And back then, none of us really, cared for that. So now what he's doing is pretty much the same thing. He's just laying all these heroes out, giving them their story, and then just, at some point, one or another, one thing or two or three things will happen where they all come together. And
Yeah.
if you can tell, he's already laid the groundwork. Like he already has, like, the Thunderbolts, with Elena and Ross, which by the way, Ross is gone. So I don't know how that's going to work. And then you also have the Young Avengers when it came to obviously Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop and the two other young folks that were in the what's it called? Not WandaVision because we know they're fake. Um,
The
and
kids.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. And Falcon and Winter
Oh,
Soldier,
okay.
those kids, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know what
like,
you're talking
yeah, they're laying the groundworks for, and they also have the fucking Eternals, which were told a story and then they were gone from existence, pretty much. If you think about it. So with
about.
that being said, I mean, he's broadening this world like to be even more massive than what we already had in
Yeah.
Endgame. So that's pretty much what he's doing again. He's just like pretty much casting the net out and then waiting to see what catches, and then he'll sort them out later on in the next coming of installments whenever we decide to actually delve into the Infinity Saga. So
Yeah, yeah. Real quick, if you're watching right now, be sure to leave this episode a like. We are going to get to Halloween Ends in just a little bit. Um, so I have a couple thoughts on this. My thought, and you kind of touched on something interesting with the world building thing, because if you think about what they did for the Infinity Saga, they did even though it went through, like I actually saw, we were in the dollar store. We were in the
don't
dollar
tell me an
store yesterday,
Infinity Saga
and no.
DVD wasn't at the
But
dollar store.
I saw the novelization of Iron Man 2, and it says from Marvel Studio, based on the hit motion picture from Marvel Studios and Paramount. And I was like, that's just weird. I was like, that doesn't seem right at all. You know what I mean? That seems
Came
very
from
odd.
Paramount?
I think it was I think it said Paramount on it.
Was
I'm
Paramount
pretty sure
owned?
it
Did
said
Iron Man own?
I believe so. I swear it said Paramount. But it's just
Huh.
weird. Like, even going across studios, they still did such a good job tying everything in together, building this world up. You know, it, it it was done so well. Like you just said about taking, and another thing that they did so well in the Infinity Saga, like taking the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy, while yes, they were known Marvel characters, they weren't as widely known as Thor, as the Hulk, as
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, as a lot of these other characters, taking the Winter Soldier, taking even Iron Man. I mean, look at, if you really look at the comic books, yes, Tony Stark is incredibly important, but it doesn't all revolve around Tony Stark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They told their own really unique story, and they built that world up as best they could. But they almost have a really difficult task here, because not only do you have to continue building this world and this universe, but now you're tying in other universes, and we're getting into weird LSD territory here. You're also like, you have to take what came before too. Like you still have to keep building what you've already. I mean, it's just like it's like a snowball effect. Like they have to keep they have to keep the momentum from the Infinity Saga, but they also have to add on and make the snowball bigger and keep it going. You know what I mean? So they really have kind of a difficult task here. And I, my next thing, JDead, you actually you said this. Well, first of all, JDead says Marvel Phase 5 will focus on a little known superhero duo J and Silent Bob, aka Blunt Man and Chronic. Hey guys, what's going on, my man? But you touched on this, and this is very interesting. The next villain should be Doctor Doom as a mid-level threat. Interesting, and build up to Galactus as the final battle, in my opinion. I like that idea, although I don't think it's going to be Galactus. If you want my thoughts on it, I think there are two right answers here that I could see. A, Kang. We've already established Kang, he who remains in Loki. We've already established that he is going to be the main villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If you remember, an actual picture leaked of I think it's a T-shirt or something that the wrap gifts that the people on set get when they wrap the movie, and it was the Ant-Man helmet shattered, and you see Kang in the reflection, and it wasn't nice guy Kang that we got at the end of Loki. It was Kang. It was blue.
Nice guy Kang.
He looks like Kang. So we already know that he's here already. Kang has arrived. The other one, and this kind of goes more into rumor territory, which is where this last little bit of this article goes. The other one is Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, because as this article kind of goes on to say, let me get it pulled back. That's not what I want to do. Let me get it pulled back up here. There's also the Fantastic Four reboot that is in development. We know it's a fact. It's been said. The Fantastic Four is coming into the MCU. Plus, we already just had Reed Richards and John Krasinski, although there's been some stuff that came out today about that. In Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, goes on to say Spider-Man No Way Home, Helmer John Watts was originally announced as the film's director, but recently dropped out of the project. John Krasinski debuted in the MCU as Fantastic Four leader Reed Richards in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, although Marvel has not yet confirmed if he'll continue with the role. Bringing in the Fantastic Four has some MCU fans wondering if the next saga will be an adaptation of the Secret Wars comic book storyline. Real quick to finish this out, Variety's Adam B offered up another connective thread that could bring together MCU Phase 4. MCU observers have noticed that several youthful superheroes or characters who become superheroes in the Marvel comics have been introduced over the last year and a half, including America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness, Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, Kid Loki in Loki, Eli Bradley in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Billy Maximoff and Tommy Maximoff in WandaVision, and Cassie Lang in Quantumania. Now, together, these characters make up the Young Avengers in the comics. One of their enemies, oddly enough, is Kang the Conqueror. Now, should Kevin Feige want to pull back the curtain on his plans for more MCU future, it'll likely happen during San Diego Comic-Con for July, or in July, or D23 in September. And that's a whole, we're going to get to that in just a minute too. Lots to unpack there. So you had touched on the Young Avengers thing. I think you're right about Young Avengers. I think that is coming. Even
whether it's in a TV or a feature-length film, that I don't know, because obviously we can tell that Marvel can do a decent story with 6 or so episodes. Yeah. Granted, I know a lot of people complain that Marvel has been cheapening the story for the sake because of the 6-episode storyline. But I mean, if you think about it, I mean they have.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like a limited series presents more storytelling than a feature-length film, if you think about it. So
yeah, I agree. Well, and it's interesting too. Like again, going back to the rumor mill, the production I know for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has been kind of tortured. I know that COVID did a number on them. What's her face who plays his sister? She's
supposed to be the new,
but I think it is supposed to go to her. Now there have been rumors, heavy rumors that that Namor, the Submariner, is supposed to make his appearance. and that they're going to change his backstory a little bit. But there are also rumors that not Doctor Doom, but that Victor Von Doom himself will be introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I could see. I could see him being a smaller piece of that film, him being in a post-credit scene, and then them building that up more in Fantastic Four. Now, do I want him to be the main villain of Fantastic Four? I don't know. I think I'd be open to it. But I also know that there's other cool Fantastic Four villains in there too. That you know what I mean? That it'd be kind of cool to see. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm torn because there was talk of Secret Wars in that article too, and you know, the Russo brothers have even said they wouldn't come back to Marvel unless it was for Secret Wars. I think we are building. Working my way backwards, I think we're moving towards Secret Wars. I think Secret Wars is going to be the big and Infinity War Endgame level end of this saga. Now, I don't know whether the villain of that is going to be Kang or whether the villain of that is going to be Doctor Doom. I think I could see either one or both. I mean, hell, they could do maybe they had two big bads. You know what I mean? I don't know. Who would you like to see? Who do you think the best? Who do you think the best big bad Thanos level threat in this multiverse saga would be? Kang or Doctor Doom?
It's tough for me to say. The easy answer would definitely be Doctor Doom because of how far he's able to, you know, last in the story in regards of Secret Wars. And it's tough because between those two, they both pretty much delve into like multiversal storylines. You know, Kang is a master time travel and tactician, I guess. Yeah. And Doctor Doom just happens to be the ruler of what's called Battlegrounds. You know, if you guys read the comics.
Yeah.
So I could see either one. Both can flip flop. It just depends on what Kevin Feige and what Marvel and Disney wants to do. Because you could say this: Kang could be the multiversal threat for this saga, and then and just make Doctor Doom, you know, just a side villain, you know, anti-hero that, you know, slowly but surely gathers powers, and then probably after the events of Kang, he ends up, you know, continuously breaking the multiverse. Yeah. Or you could have it the other way around, where Doctor Doom is just, you know, a minion of Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror is the one that's able to break the multiverse and all that stuff, and then you could have Doctor Doom, you know, slowly coming into power. What I'm saying right now is, in my head, where it could definitely be and what it could definitely end with is Doctor Doom, because we've already done big bad alien, you know, at the end for Endgame with Thanos in the Infinity Stones. Yeah. So it would be kind of refreshing to have Doctor Doom be it, because Doctor Doom is, you know, a human like all of us, who obviously with the powers that he's had became corrupted and pretty much destroyed the entire multiverse just for the sake of power, sake of having power. So I think in regards of villains in itself, Doctor Doom holds more weight than King the Conqueror.
I agree. I think he holds more weight. I think he's a bigger, in my opinion, I think he's a bigger villain. I think he's a more important villain.
He's a bigger thorn in your foot whenever you walk through the woods. Well,
and I like how sinister he is. You know what I mean? And J-Dead, you make a good point too. He said, I just feel like if they're going to bring in a supervillain this time, they might try keeping it under wraps, unlike what they did with Thanos. Build it up one way, then throw a curveball this time. I think the build-up, Kang is cool. Seeing Kang the Conqueror is going to be awesome. But I think if you really want to just plant a seed in Black Panther Wakanda Forever and slowly build that seed into what becomes Doctor Doom, you can make him scary. You can make him pretty sinister and pretty screwed up. Even if they listen, even if oh, what if this was the curveball? Tell me what you think of this. What if we built up thinking Kang is going to be the big villain. We have run-ins with Kang, maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kang is the main villain. The Young Avengers fight Kang. Literally, like all these different people fight Kang. What if Doom defeats Kang? And like halfway through this saga, or even at the end of like phase 5 or phase 6, what if Doom defeats Kang and then we build to Secret Wars? That would be like, oh shit. Like that, it would add a whole other layer of what is going on. Like, holy crap, he just killed Kang. Like, that'd be a big deal. It would also be another way to establish Doom's dominance over like how powerful Doctor Doom. Because let's be real, I mean, he's arguably the most powerful Marvel villain. Arguably,
Doctor Doom. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the smartest. If I do say so. If I do say so, he's definitely one of the smartest Marvel supervillains in here. So what I could do see is, how can I say, Doctor Doom playing chess instead of checkers. He's just playing move by move, playing the long game, and letting Kang the Conqueror, have his bout with the new Avengers or Young Avengers or whoever it's going to be.
Because that way you still get Kang as a big villain. You know what I mean? Like, you're not cheating Kang out of his glory, but you're still going to leave that jaw drop moment for like, oh, crap. Doom is here, man. So, yeah, I completely agree. Castler Garcia, what's going on, man? He says, weak July 22 movie lineup, only Thor 4 and Nope worthy sync. Yeah, July doesn't have too many. Which those are two that I'm super excited about. He also says Kang should be the next big villain. I do agree with you about Galactus. I don't think Galactus is going to be the big villain of this saga. My thought is save Galactus for when you get the Silver Surfer and when you get the X-Men. Just because those two or that group of characters.
The X-Men and the Silver Surfers? I was thinking like Fantastic Four.
Well, or Fantastic Four. I mean, like that. Wait until it's a different established. Wait until the X-Men are established. Wait until the Fantastic Four are established. You know what I mean? That's my thought on it. I mean, I don't think Galactus is right for this saga, but I do want to see a big Galactus story. I think that'd be cool. The man, the myth, and legend himself, JT's in the chat, man. He says, I'm fresh off of work to get here. Well, we're glad you got off of work to get here, dude.
Super Very glad, man. Welcome.
Very glad. J-Did says, Dr. Doom would be my favorite for Phase 4. I've always loved him as a villain, and I feel he deserves a good story arc. I agree. He's one you don't want to get wrong. I don't know who should play him.
Yeah, he was definitely cheapened out in the first, Fantastic Four storyline and thrown away in the second one, if I do say so. And so I think they really need to take their time with this one. I think Doctor Doom is such an important super villain that he needs to take his time. How they took care of Loki, how he became such like a major
like a major
player and like just Marvel in itself. I think Doctor Doom needs that type of treatment without a doubt.
What do you mean they threw him away in the second one? Do you mean Rise of the Silver Surfer, or do you mean the Miles Teller?
No, I'm talking about the Miles Teller. Yeah, okay. The Miles Teller Fantastic Four.
Dude, that was garbage. Like, listen, there are scenes in that movie that like legit.
There are very few movies. There are very few movies
where I've walked out.
Yeah,
it looks god awful. Like it doesn't even hold up to like cheaply made movies. Like, it looks so bad. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's not good. That's another one, dude. He says, J-Dad says, Cillian Murphy or Andrew Lincoln for Doctor Doom. I know there have been a lot of reports about an announcement coming soon about Andrew Lincoln being a very big character. And I could see it. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm going to see him and think Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. And if they make him Doctor Doom, which he'd be great. I think he's a terrific actor. I mean, he would do a great job. But I'm only going to see Rick Grimes becoming a supervillain. Like, that's all I'm going to see. It's going to be really strange. Also, it's gonna be weird to hear him with what? No, I mean he does an American accent in The Walking Dead, but it's. I mean he's from Kentucky, so it's like a southern drawl.
No,
Like
it's a British
he's
man
good.
acting like he's from fucking I don't know, Mississippi or something like that.
To be fair,
It's
he's a
like,
British guy acting like he is from Kentucky, so he's
yeah,
got like
and
a.
don't get me wrong, these fucking Brits can talk like a fucking country guy for sure. They can do it, but like there's some moments where it's like, oh god, this hurts my
J-Did
ear.
said, "I can hear Doctor Doom now." Carl.
Oh my god, no,
My
I
favorite.
can't.
You
I
can really
can't
hear
do
it when Negan's got him on his knees and he says like, when he says like he can take his hands or whatever, and Negan says, "I'm gonna kill Carl now," or whatever, and Rick goes, "You can do it. You can do it right here in front of me. You can take my hands." And then I don't know, he says something else and he's like, "Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow." He does something weird, like it's Southern, and then every once in a while it's like he's from Boston.
And
He's
he
like,
fucking
tomorrow.
smolders too. That's what pisses me off. Is you can take my hands, but maybe not tomorrow. It's like, what? So what are you doing?
And like when he cries, like when he's looking for Lori and Carl in the prison, he's like, "Lori, Carl, Lori, Lori." I'm making fun of him, but I love him, man. He's legit like
He's
my
a great actor. Yeah, don't
favorite
get it
TV
twisted.
character of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. It's interesting. I mean, and listen, Secret Wars, I mean, that's Secret Wars is going to be amazing if they do that. I mean, that's if you're, everybody talked about like, how do you top Endgame? How do you top Infinity War and Endgame? Secret Wars. That's how. Like legit. That's how. My only worry with doing Secret Wars is, where do you go from that?
You go with Galactus, I guess. Like that's the thing. Like Secret Wars is like the restart of a lot of things, and obviously, when it comes from like Marvel Avengers type stuff, the big bads are obviously like Thanos and fucking Galactus, and then Secret Wars and Doctor Doom. But then they also have time to build up for other stuff. Like X-Men when it came with like Jean Grey, and it came with like Apocalypse, and when it came with the Sentinels and all that stuff. Like Marvel can revisit that stuff. It just won't be for a long time.
I agree.
Which is why even this phase in and of itself is gonna be another 10 years.
Well,
until
dude,
like we. If you don't think it's not going to take 10 years, you are sorely mistaken. If you think we're going to get this in like less than 5, yeah, you're living in dreamland. Trust me.
It's going to be.
I would say another decade we're going to get the end game for this saga.
My guess, I think it will be 2034 or 35 by the time we get Secret Wars. I do. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a while. J-Did says, how many films can they get out of Secret Wars? I could see 4 or 5. I couldn't see 4 or 5, but I could see 2 or a trilogy. Maybe a trilogy. I would think, because I mean, for all intents and purposes, Infinity War and Endgame are a part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I mean, they are.
Could you imagine like a trilogy saga for like fucking Secret Wars? I could totally see that.
A trilogy would be cool. Although if you do 4 or 5, it would be like, okay, here's the next one.
A trilogy.
Like, I don't want to see that. Like a trilogy, at least it's like, okay, we establish what's happening. There's a middle, oh crap moment, and then there's then there's the epic conclusion of it. So I mean, I could see that. But there's a lot to get through by the time we get there. J-Dad also says, I'm from South Carolina. Oh, you're from South Carolina. And I'm not going to lie, Andrew's Southern accent makes my taint hurt. Oh, man. Well, and you remember, we also have the Thunderbolts movie coming, too. That's another one that's been confirmed.
and they need their big bad, too, because they're obviously going to get more than just one episode. I know that for a fact.
Hey, who do you think we're going to get in Thunderbolts? I'm definitely thinking Bucky, Yelena,
like a team member who's in there?
Yeah. Bucky, Yelena, Rhodey? No, not Rhodey.
No.
I feel like Rhodey's he's gonna take the high road. He's gonna be more of an Iron Man kind of, you know what I mean? He's gonna work with the government. He's not gonna play Do you think Ross is going to become Red Hulk?
Bro, he's dead.
Oh yeah, he is dead, isn't he?
The actor is dead. He passed away, dude. That's
Oh,
that's the situation that they're going through.
oh
You
yeah,
realize that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. He said, "When are we gonna get him? Where's he been?
I
6 feet under,
forgot.
my
I
guy."
completely forgot about that. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie though. Something that really does kind of kill. Oh my god. J Dead says Secret Wars kills, Secret Wars ends. I would die. A little piece of my soul would die. No, but let's
I'm
be
curious.
honest for a minute. Where the hell are mutants? Where are the X-Men?
Give it some time, bro. You got 10 years. Calm
I
down.
know, but like you would think there'd be like a little like shrivel of that, but there's nothing. Like there's
Nope.
nothing about them. You know? I don't know. And we're not gonna I mean they're not there it's obvious. We've already gotten a ton of backstory on Wanda. Wanda and Pietro are not they're not Magneto's children. So like I don't know. I'm just kind of like, where are they going to be at? But if you have Marvel questions or if you comments or whatever, please put them in the chat. Let us know what you think. To kind of wrap up on the Marvel chat before we get into some Halloween, which I know y'all are dying for. You know, I think we are in the multiverse saga. I think it's between Doom and Kang. I don't know which is going to be the big bad.
It could literally be a coin toss,
It could, and I think
it's like a Targaryen. When a Targaryen's born, the gods make a coin toss because you don't know which one's gonna go. You can go either way.
Yeah. Well, I could see either or. I mean, I could see Kang being the Ultron level villain, and I could see, I could see.
I could see Doctor Doom as like not necessarily an Ultron villain. I could see him as a Loki villain, pretty much.
And I mean, I could even
constantly wreaking havoc throughout.
I could even see Doctor Doom going past Secret Wars too. You know what I mean? I don't think they would build him up because he's.
Hear me out. Okay. Loki, is a start. Loki is the reason why the multiverse started, and Doctor Doom is the reason why the multiverse ended. So you had 10 or so plus years of Loki wreaking havoc, all the way to the point where he starts the multiverse and breaks the multiverse. And then you have 10 years of Doctor Doom wreaking havoc, and then he's the one that completely destroys the entirety of the multiverse. I think that would make a lot of sense.
You just broke my mind. Although Loki didn't create the multiverse, though.
He didn't create it. No, he broke it. He broke the sacred timeline, thus creating.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and whether you say it was Sylvie or actual Loki, both are Loki. So
it's still Loki anywhere you cut it. So that's interesting.
Loki,
definitely interesting, man. That wraps up our Marvel chat for the night. Let's go ahead and make the switch. It is time for y'all's favorite burnt crispy bro, Michael Myers. Finally,
he's looking like a well done steak.
He really is. I love that shot.
He looks like a waffle. He looks like a Waffle House steak.
He looks like Waffle House, but like everybody's drunk, like all the employees.
He looks like a Waffle House steak. Dry as fuck, but still delicious.
He looks like a dry aged steak that like you've let dry age for too long, and it's just like it's like Italian meat that hangs in a barn for like a year.
Only you would say that.
You have to. I know that you have to like shred the outside of it now. So let's talk Halloween, man. And I didn't start off on, or I didn't plan on starting our discussion off this way, but I guess it was on Thursday, maybe. I had some free time, and I popped in the Shout Factory Halloween 4K, and I was looking at I didn't even watch the movie, but I was going through the bonus features because I had never done that yet. And there were a couple I watched. There was, there was Halloween the Night She Came Home, which was about Jamie Lee Curtis's like first convention and like fan experience. That was awesome to see. Like Sean Clark when Sean Clark booked her, like it was really cool. Like seeing, I think it was like her sister and her cousin or something just videoed her like going to this convention and stuff, and like, you know, people, because she had never done that before. Like Jamie Lee Curtis has said, like she's not a big horror movie person. Like other than Halloween, like she's not a, you know what I mean? Like Halloween is special to her, of course, because it's what built her career, but like she's not a horror movie fanatic, you know, so she didn't ever go to conventions and stuff, but it was really cool. She was really gracious. Like they, you know, they had sold too many tickets and they went over time. And I mean, she stayed for every single person that wanted to meet her and get a picture or an autograph or have her sign something. Like it was just really cool. And it was really cool, like seeing all of the, like at the beginning of it, you know, they took a picture of all of the Halloween alum that were there, like almost every person that played Michael Myers, plus JLC, plus just Malika Akkad and some of the different people that were in there, and they all took a picture together. It was just, it's amazing. And like it's not the best movie ever made, the original Halloween, but it is a very compelling story. And like, but I'm being real, like it's not like, but it's brought so many people together, and like I don't know what it is, but there is something about Halloween, like, and it's not even just the movie, but like this community, the fandom, like the alumni of this franchise, like what has been built by this little low budget 70s horror flick, like has just it blew me away. Like I was very like, I felt very grateful watching that, like grateful for like this community and grateful for like the group of people that, you know, even doing our channel and being a part of other channels before that, like not on other channels, but, you know, being a frequent watcher and a listener, and, you know, in the Facebook groups, it's an amazing community. Like it really is. It's different from other fandoms. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
would
what it
agree
is.
with that.
There's just something about Halloween, man. It kind of got to me. I got a little emotional. No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Well, I mean, if you think about
But
it,
maybe
like
I did.
Halloween is a reason why so many of these horror podcasts have started. Like
Yeah.
maybe some have like started a couple years before, but the second like Halloween 2018 came out, like it started a plethora of horror movie podcasters, and it became their niche. If
It
you think
did.
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it did.
So like Halloween is such an impactful, like culturally impactful movie in the horror genre that yeah, obviously like it reaches a lot of people differently than, you know, say Freddy and Jason and all that stuff, because Jason's gone through like so much legal shit, and Freddy just became like way too mainstream that he kind of his horror aspect kind of got lost, if you think about it,
Yeah.
within the years of his more and more installments. Halloween and Michael Myers was the only one that truly kept its quote unquote horror-esque, like stockish, like, you know, typical like serial killer vibes, like always at the forefront.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, there
Yeah.
was like the weird you know, witchcraft stuff, you know, from
Oh,
all
it
that other
got
bullshit.
buku. I mean,
Oh yeah, it
it went
got buku, but it
full crazy.
always like returned back to its like original roots, so to speak. So with
Yeah,
that
and
being said, yeah, obviously, like I would say, like Halloween is and Michael Myers have definitely like kept its roots really, really rather well.
it's kind of interesting because, you know, I know that there were like kind of reflecting. I mean, on Tuesday when we review the Black Phone, we're gonna be 19 episodes away from 100, and
Hell
like
yeah,
that,
son.
and that
Hell
doesn't seem
yeah,
like,
brother.
I don't know. I know a lot of people. Hey, Oct is in the chat. What's going on, buddy?
Hey,
J-Dad, I'm going
buddy.
to get to your comments in just a minute. 110 days till Halloween ends. And here we are sitting here about to talk a crap ton about Halloween ends. You know, I think it's interesting. Like, for me, you know, looking at, because Halloween did kind of die out a little bit. I mean, in the 80s, Freddy and Jason were the king. Halloween was not number one. He was number one. No, it was not number
One.
one in the 80s. He was not number one. But, you know, the Rob Zombie films were a nice. The Rob Zombie films were a nice. What do you call it? Like a nice halftime. They were a nice tide me over to what came after. But it's interesting. Like, you had films like Psycho and The Exorcist and Jaws and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the 60s and 70s. I mean, all the Hitchcock stuff that was insane. I mean, it was what put horror on the map. But it's interesting that you said that. You had said that a little bit ago about Halloween, because Halloween was when Halloween came out in 1978, it was really what lit the fuse for 80s horror, because horror ruled in the 80s. I mean, look at what Stranger Things is doing right now. I mean, Stranger Things is like a big nod to 80s horror.
Yeah, people are loving it.
Exactly, and they're eating the crap out of, or they're bending. Never mind. They're but it's interesting because, like, similarly to how Halloween 78 launched 80s horror, and this kind of ties into what Jason Blum is saying, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, about, Halloween 2018, when that was announced, and it was announced that Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back, and it was announced that John Carpenter was coming back, and it was announced that Nick Castle was coming. I mean, it was just like, there was so much excitement, and so I remember there was so much nostalgia that people were like, holy shit, we're going to get, it's going to be the original people that made Halloween happen. Like, this is going to be amazing. I mean, I remember I felt that was when I found this whole horror YouTube community. That was when I started watching. We watched a movie with Mike and Jay and Dave McRae and all of these other guys. That was when I was thrown into that head first. And I was like, holy crap, there's a whole community of these people online that hang out and shoot the shit and talk to, like, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is cool. I can't tell you, listen, I used to work at Old Navy in Lexington, and I can't tell you how many 4 a.m.
Give them all your information, dog.
Well, it's fine. I used to work. I don't work there anymore. That was years ago. But I cannot tell you how many mornings Mike and Jay of We Watched a Movie got me through at, like, working 4 a.m. Probably hungover from hanging out with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was a big deal to me. And I mean, I would sit and I mean, I've listened to their Halloween reviews a billion times. Like, it's just, it's cool. Like, this community. So it's interesting that you say, like, 2018 is now kicking off this whole resurfacing of slashers. Like, Scream is coming back. We're getting more Texas Chainsaw films. There's the Chucky TV series. Jason Blum is talking about wanting to bring back Elm Street and Friday the 13th. It's just, it's cool, man. It's really, really cool. And if you guys have theories or ideas, thoughts, concerns, be sure to drop them in the chat. We'll get to them kind of throughout our conversation. Again, this is going to be the bulk of what we talk about here. With talking about Halloween, I mean, and it's important to remember that, this is all speculation. Like, we've said this before, we don't have sources. We're not going to sit here and try to bullshit you for the likes and the clicks. There are channels that have legit, accurate information, what we believe to be accurate information, but we've never claimed to be one of them. So, like, we're approaching this from a speculative, fun angle anyways. So that, like, just, I say that because there's a lot of people out there that are like, he said that, and I'm like, shut up, like, calm down. Hey, I know what I said, and we're speculating. No, we don't know this for sure. We're speculating.
We don't know shit, okay? No.
We don't. And really,
that's okay.
Listen, I think they're trying to keep ends really, really under wraps. And that's okay. Like, I'm happy. I'm good about that. Like, we knew way too much about kills. We knew way, way too much. Like, way too much about kills. So, again, if you guys have thoughts, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them throughout the show. And I mean, again, like everything we just talked about with this community, with this resurgence of horror, like, shout out to the awesome people that we share this space with, legit, all these other channels. Like, shout out to them, because this is,
shout out to the channels.
This is awesome. Shout to the channels. So let's get to a couple comments before we start talking here. Jaden says, I got a new theory for Halloween Ends. There will be a small cultist group trying to keep the lore of Myers alive throughout the time jump. That's who the that's who the cave dwellers reference in the working title. I think Haddonfield and law enforcement will not be sure if Myers is alive, or nor the first part of the film that he wants to be seen. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sold on any theory I've heard about the cave dwellers thing. Some people have said that that's in reference to COVID and people having to be in their home, like we're all cave dwellers. I don't think that at all. There's a lot of people who have said that they believe Michael is going to be hiding out in a cave. I don't. That sounds very Rob Zombie Myers. He's growing a beard and he stole a 6-pack from the 7-Eleven and he's like eating a raccoon raw. Like he's not even bothering to cook it. I don't know. But and there's also like stuff like that, like the ideas about this cultish thing. I don't know. I don't know what. Do you have any thoughts on the cave dwellers thing, Miguel? The working. I mean, it is the working title. I just don't know.
It is the working title.
Exactly what it's in reference to.
Well, I know you probably don't agree with me on that, but I think it is like just talking about COVID and Michael just being out and about and just hiding and pretty much are in hiding, because I feel like with like the movie itself, this movie will play a major role with the pandemic. Like a lot of people are going to be like fearful of the pandemic and wanting to stay home, and that just gives Michael the opportunity to stalk and kill just as much as he used to.
Yeah,
because that's the only way. That is the only way people. That's the only way Michael is going to be able to kill as much as he used to, is because people are stuck at home or fearful of the pandemic and that they don't want to leave, so they want to stay home, and they don't want anyone coming to their house because of the pandemic. Blah 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 blah. So it gives Michael like this free buffet of people to fucking shank.
Bro's like he just walked into a Golden Corral. He's just like, woo!
He's like, woo! Oh God, Sunday at 12 o'clock.
He goes,
yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Sunday lunch after church. Oh God, what am I gonna do with all these fucking opportunities here?
Every restaurant is just packed when he's like, this is awesome. So yeah, I don't know, man. J-Dance also says every time you leave a like, Miguel's mustache grows thicker.
Hey, thanks, champ. I appreciate
Actually,
that.
my beard is really short right now. I just trimmed mine like a lot. It's like way shorter than
about the beard. I care about the stash. The good old 80s stash.
Oh, you got that Stranger Things stash.
Hell yeah, son.
The Oct says, I think Halloween Kills delivered on the kills. 100%. I hope Halloween Ends delivers on the ends, and it ends in a set. Holy crap, dude. Perfect way of saying that. Perfect. And I do think, like, my prediction for Ends, and we even talked about this with Darren and Frank of the Slaughtered Lamb. Like, I think the Ends, I mean, with Malik Akkad did say stuff about it. It's more intimate. It's more, what did he say? It's more condensed, or, it's a smaller film. So I do hope that this is a little bit more, we get more of him stalking. We get more of him lurking in the shadows. I know Sean of Fandom Empire, I was listening to this the other day, was on Michael Bishop, which they're both members of Fandom Empire, but he was on his podcast, and Sean said that, he's heard that Michael will be showcased in a different way than he ever has before. So, I mean, I'm okay, like, with, because we already saw, I mean, listen, I've kind of become, I was really excited for Kills, and then I was kind of disappointed with Kills, and now I've slowly kind of just been more like, okay, I appreciate Halloween Kills. I do, because I think Halloween Kills, while the story wasn't exactly what I thought it would be, it's like my favorite Michael Myers has ever been. I mean, the Michael stuff was just solid. It was just on point the entire freaking time. And to everybody that, that wanted just a movie where because we've gotten it in small snippets. We've gotten, seeing the aftermath of the police station in Halloween 4. We've gotten the operating room scene in Halloween 6. We've gotten little bits of like him just going all out, but we've never, we've never gotten just until Halloween Kills, we've never gotten just an all out, just watch Michael Myers, like you said, it's like a full buffet. Just watch him just end an entire town,
Mm-hmm.
like just rip through people, and that's what we got, and that was really fun.
Yeah, because you noticed like in 2018 Halloween when Michael was just now learning about, like, he was just back in the town during Halloween. He's looking around and stuff. You saw how much you kind of saw like a little bit of like a childlike thing. It was like, oh shit, this is gonna be fun again. And, when he's out there just killing people left and right and going through, like, I think it was like 4 different houses, and he just over here slashing people and all that shit. Like, he definitely felt like at home. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, 100%. And JDid says, JT says, after how much they messed the marketing for kills, I appreciate the privacy events. I do too. And I don't know.
I do agree with you, JT, how you said they messed the marketing up for kills, because they really just thrown everything out on it. Like, it was like every week before the movie started, it was like, let's give a little bit more, and then a little bit more.
It wasn't,
and then a little bit more.
It's like it's kind of the idea with No Way Home. I don't know how much was actually leaked and how much was leaked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I think kills snowballed. I think it was just like, it was nonstop. It was like, okay, it's like, at what point? And I hope we've talked about doing a show on this, going back to like a topic show. That was a terrible burp. Oh, that was a beer burp. Like doing a topic show about studios purposely leaking information, because I wholeheartedly believe that studios do leak information on purpose as a marketing technique. And I don't know how much was that, and I don't know how much was a legitimate leak, but because I mean, in this day and age we live in, it's real easy for anybody to just hop on, which that's part of the issue, especially right now, is there's so much misinformation out there, and there's just so much BS out there, which we're going to talk about some of that in just a minute too. But it'd be so easy for them to just hop on Reddit or hop on anything they want and just make a fake account and be like, okay, we're going to leak a little bit, and I'm not saying that's how they do it, but I mean, they could have a better method. But I'm just saying, I think there are certain things that are leaked over time. Plot twist: Michael was a Chinese spy that brought COVID to Haddonfield. Oh my God. No, thanks.
We went there.
J-Dad also says, comparing Brad's beard to Miguel's mustache is like comparing Rob Zombie's Halloween to John Carpenter's Halloween. It's not just even. Well, bye. I hope y'all enjoy the Miguel show.
Fuck you,
bro. Well, I guess we're just gonna do this. And we're gonna make Miguel the big one. So this is gonna be the enjoy Miguel.
Read it and weep, fellas.
It's his world. I just live in it. No, I'm kidding. Give me back my side, bitch. I'm kidding. Joseph Wells, what's going on, man? He says, I just want to know where the trailer is. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute. We have some thoughts. Do you want to talk about that now? Let's talk about the trailer. Let's do it, Joseph. Okay. You struck a nerve with me. Let's talk about the trailer. The big question is, where is the Halloween Ends trailer? A lot of people thought, hey, the 2018 trailer came out in June. The Kills trailer came out in June. It only makes sense for the Halloween Ends trailer to do the same thing, right? It doesn't work that way. I don't think this is going to work that way. I mean, they've even said, they flat out said the marketing for Halloween Ends is not going to be the same as Halloween Kills. Just like they said, the marketing for Halloween Kills is not going to be the same as the marketing for Halloween 2018. And I'll tell you what, it's been funny to watch people like on Twitter and in the Halloween community and the horror community be like, it's tomorrow. The trailer is going to drop tomorrow. Be ready. And then when it doesn't drop, they're like, oh, Friday, it's coming Friday. It's going to happen Friday. And then it doesn't happen. So to get an idea of when we might see the trailer for Ends, let's look to the past, shall we? Let's take a ride to the past. Follow us. Follow me into the bushes. So the Halloween trailer, the Halloween 2018 the Halloween 2018 trailer, there it is, came out on June 8th, 2018. I remember where I was sitting when that trailer dropped. I was actually in a dorm room at college. I was sitting there, and I remember like this.
That long ago.
Huh?
That long ago.
I know, it was that long ago. I was sitting there, and I remember like I was going home that night. It was the summer, but I was working something, and I went home and I showed my parents. I was like, oh, I was like, this is amazing. This is
Jesus
amazing.
Christ.
I was freaking out. So the 18 trailer came out June 8th, 2018. The Halloween Kills trailer came out on June 24th, but it really should have been July 1st. But if you remember, that trailer leaked like it was out there, like it was literally out there. So the leak prompted Universal and Blumhouse to try to get ahead of the issue. So that trailer dropped like 8 days early to get ahead of that situation. I kind of think that the obvious thought here is that the Halloween Kills trailer is going to release with Nope. Everybody thought the Black Phone, but of course the Black Phone is out now. It didn't drop with the Black Phone because those are both Blumhouse films, the Black Phone and Nope. I think also given the reshoots, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, I think given the reshoots, I think given the fact that it's obviously not attached to the Black Phone, they're going to attach it to a film. And the Jordan Peele films, his horror films are pretty popular. So, I mean, it's going to put people in the seats. I think it is very, very, I think it's obvious that it's going to drop with Nope. Now, it won't drop let me see, what day does Nope come out? So Nope comes out on July 22nd. Let me get a calendar here. I should have had this pulled up already. So Nope comes out on Friday, July 22nd. I would guess there's a window here, and I would guess that the window to get the trailer would be maybe the 11th, which is a Monday, through the 22nd, which is that opening day. I don't think they'll release it on the 22nd because if you think from a marketing standpoint, they're not going to have two of their films competing with each other because let's be real. I mean, and this is nothing against Jordan Peele. This is nothing against his film because I'm actually pretty intrigued by Nope. I think the trailer for Nope looks kind of interesting. It looks more interesting than I think Get Out or Us did. But if I had to guess, I would say maybe the 15th. I don't know for sure. I could be wrong. Listen, we might get to the 15th and y'all might be like, but Brad at Let's Talk Movies said it was going to drop on the 15th and it didn't. No, I said I think it could drop on the 15th. I think it's possible that it could. Could it drop on Monday the 18th? Sure. Could it drop on Monday the 11th? Sure. I don't know. But my guess is that window between July 11th and July 22nd, when Nope comes out, is when we are going to get this trailer. Because, if you drop it on July 15th, then it drops on a Friday night. It drops going into the weekend. It's going to get views. If you drop it on the 11th or the 18th, then you still get a whole other week or two, depending on the 11th or the 18th, to market for Nope. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my thought. What are your thoughts on when we might actually see the trailer?
And it comes out in like early October, doesn't it? It doesn't come out exactly on Halloween, does it?
No, it comes out like for the 14th or the 15th. I can't remember which one. They've gone back and forth between those.
So like it would make sense. So obviously it would make sense for it to come out like during
Halloween Ends comes out on the 14th of October. October 14th.
Okay, so halfway through the month. So it would make sense for the trailer to come out like obviously in the summer because a lot of people are willing to go watch movies and stuff like that, and they'll obviously help bring in a lot more what's it called? A lot more audience members to come watch these summer horror flicks. And I'm not entirely sure, is Nope part of the same studio as Halloween or
yeah, they're both Blumhouse movies.
Yeah,
it's
so
all,
like
it's
it
all
would make
Black
sense
Phone,
for
Halloween,
Yeah.
Nope. They're all Blumhouse films.
Yeah, so it would make sense for either Black Phone or even Nope for Halloween to be in it. Now, who knows? Maybe even Halloween Ends maybe in like Black Phone's trailer. We don't know. It hasn't came out yet, so who knows? So what definitely see.
Say what you just said again. I was reading something and I missed that.
I said Halloween. I said the Halloween Ends trailer could be in the Black Phone trailers.
No, because the black phone's already out.
No.
It's already out. I think the time it's not with the black phone. There's no way. The time has passed.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'd assume that it would be a nope. Like I can't picture any other horror movie that may be out here that would would be justifiable for the trailer to come out in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. I think they're going to attach it to something because why wouldn't you attach it to something? You know what I mean? Why not use one of your properties to market one of your other properties? I mean, it makes sense. I just don't, and I see you guys talking in the chat, and I really appreciate that. J-Dead says, I'm still betting the last week of July. Could be. I could be wrong. But my thought here is, I feel like it's going to come one of those. It's either going to be the week before Nope releases or the week of Nope's release early. If it comes the week before, the week of, what was it? My calendar went away. If it comes the week of the 11th through the 15th, I think it'll drop at the end of the week. If it comes the week of Nope's release, so the 18th through the 22nd, I think it'll come at the beginning of the week, so that they have all week to focus on Halloween Ends, and then they can just boom, jump straight into Nope. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. James says the Halloween Ends trailer is not played with the black phone. I saw that movie today. Yeah, it's not with the black phone. There's no way.
My bad.
No, I mean, it's fine. Joseph Wells says, I want a little taste of what the trailer will be like for Halloween Ends, as long as they don't show too much. Well, and he also said,
well, what is too much? Like, what is too much and what is too little? Like that's what I wonder when regards to the trailer.
And you have to remember, like, when they cut a trailer, they're not marketing to us. They're not marketing to the hardcore people with Myers masks in their house and stuff like that. They're marketing to people who are not big fans of the franchise. They want to pull in your average Joe from off the street that says, hey, that looks pretty good. I saw the first two. They were pretty good. And I remember the original one. They were good flicks. Yeah. I'll go see this one. That's who they're marketing for. So I think that's the reason why a lot of hardcore Halloween fans say they show too much, is just because they're not marketing for you. They're not trying to beat around the bush. They want you to go, that looks sick. I want to go see that. That looks pretty awesome. You know what I mean? So that's why I think a lot of times, people think that they show way too much. I don't know. What do you think is too much, Miguel? What's kind of your take on showing too much in a trailer?
I don't know, because there are so many trailers. Like, I'm pretty sure I could, if I were to do the research, I could find like a lot of trailers out there that I think did the movie justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, I hate to use this because it almost felt like a scapegoat whenever it came in my head. I was thinking like Marvel, like Endgame, when it came to it. Like, they tried extremely hard to give you trailers and then just leave it at that. Like, you knew all the characters that was going to be in that movie. You knew the premise of what was going to happen in the movie, but you didn't show any more than what needed to be shown. And I thought that was a really good way that they did their marketing. And I would say I can't think of any trailers right now that really did the movie justice in regard of like teasing of what's to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
The only one I can think of as well is probably Godzilla's King of the Monsters too, because it was the first trailer of Godzilla King of the Monsters, when it was a trailer with like, we had Claire de Lune on it. And all it showed was the monsters that were going to come out, and just in the way the trailer was, it kind of really did mislead you in how the movie was going to go. So I thought that was a really unique way of presenting a trailer. I can't think of anything else, but yeah, like those type of trailers where like it pretty much gives you like, it shows you what you want, but it doesn't show you everything that you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. The other question here is, we got the description of the trailer that they showed at CinemaCon, which had, Laurie and Michael in like a brutal fight, and it said like every scare, every slash has led to this, or it all ends, or whatever it said. And like, it had like Laurie, I think, like kicks Michael onto a table or something, and she stabs his hand. Like it was like a brutal fight scene between the two of them. So are we going to get the CinemaCon trailer? because that trailer also had a lot of footage from Halloween 78. It had footage from 2018 and from kills in it. It was kind of more of a mashup of other things than new footage from Halloween Ends. So it's like, are we going to get, what is this trailer going to be? Do you all want, if you're watching right now, or if you're watching after the fact, let us know. Do you want to see that CinemaCon trailer that shows a little bit less new and just kind of is like an epic recap of the story so far? Or do you want to see
I'd go with
new footage? I'd be okay with that. I really would. Or do you want to see new footage and it be like the trailer we got for Kills or the trailer we got for 18? Or like how modern trailers do it. I even think of like the second trailer for Avengers Endgame was a big recap of a lot of things. And I mean, I would be okay if we got the CinemaCon trailer. I think that would be okay with me. You guys are moving in the chat and you're absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to get to those in just a second when we wrap up our trailer talk here. The Ox says, I don't know if I'll make it. I know, man. I don't know. I'm really my gut is telling me one of those, that 2-week window in July. If you're just joining us, my guess, Miguel could disagree with me, but my guess is that we have a 2-week window of the 11th, which is the week before, the Monday of the week before the not the Black Phone, Nope releases, to July 22nd. When Nope does release. So that's a 2-week window that we could see the trailer drop on a Monday, drop on a Friday. If it drops the week of the 11th through the 15th, you get a whole week to market that, just to blow up that trailer. And if it drops, the week of Nope, then you drop it on a Monday. You have all week to gloat in the Halloween trailer plus market for Nope. And then Nope drops Friday and the Halloween Kills trailer plays with it, plus people go see Nope. I mean, I don't know, that's my guess, but if you guys have guesses or if you guys have thoughts, throw them in the comments, because again, this is kind of just a collaborative, just to get together and shoot the shit and talk to each other and think about what we could get. Jaded says CinemaCon trailer drops with Nope, then the next weekend we get a new teaser trailer. That's a thought too. Maybe they do drop the CinemaCon trailer with Nope, and then we get a full-length trailer before. Jason, what's going on, man? He says, "What if there's no? What if there's no trailer? What if would you be okay if there? They won't do that. There's no way they'll do that. But would you be okay if they
the marketing department would literally be like, so are we gonna drop it? Like, we have to drop it. Like, I don't."
Listen,
bro. Let me just drop a snippet, and then they're gonna drop something.
If Blumhouse went to if Jason Blum went to Universal and they were like, "Hey, listen, we don't want to drop a trailer for this. We think it'd be a cool new age marketing technique. We don't want to drop a trailer. We just want people to speculate and just gloat in their expectations until the movie comes out." You know what Universal would say?
The Universal would be like, yeah, but I think that, but then the director would be like, not a single fucking trailer.
Nothing. But what about, can we release a picture of what Michael looks like? He'd be like,
not a single fucking thing.
Jason Blum goes, yeah, we don't want to drop a trailer for Halloween Ends. Universal would be like,
you serious?
It's pretty much.
Are you serious right now? Really? You're kidding me right now, right?
If he offered the idea of like, hey, let's just try this new marketing thing where we don't do any trailer, 100%, you just get a room full of laughters. It'd be like, matter of fact, that was so stupid. We're gonna drop it in the next hour, just to show you how stupid it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Peter Alari, I do see your comment, buddy. I'm trying to make my way through these. Peter says, "Will we hear about Michael's immortality in Halloween Ends?" That's an interesting thought. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't.
Because let's be honest, the man took a lot.
I don't think so. That kind of goes in with our next topic. Well, we're going to come back to that. I'll say this right now before we kind of dive into some of the rumor mills and things like that. I don't think he's immortal. I don't think he's supernatural. I think there's a supernatural element to him, but that goes in with the mystery and the mystique of the character. I don't think he's supernatural. I think that I don't know, but I do think that might tie in with something that we're going to get to in just a few minutes. So hang tight. J-Dad said, I gotta go, guys. Great stream. Have a good one. Much love. See you, buddy. We love you. Thanks for hanging out with us all the time. JT says, JT says, I guess
as soon as you left, J-Dad.
I know. He says, I guess my thing is too much. Is it too much because they are really showing too much, or is it too much because of some YouTubers keep rewatching and doing hidden Easter eggs videos or things you missed videos? That's true too. Again, we didn't have all of that. A lot of people, in the 90s might see a trailer and then that's the only thing they see until the movie drops. But now, again, and we tie into that too because we do the same thing.
We do the exact same thing.
But it's another interesting thing. People can go. I mean, YouTube didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. You couldn't go back and watch something 6,000 times if you wanted to, and break it down frame by frame and take screenshots and zoom. Man, I'm J-Dad. Really shouldn't have left. And zoom in on things and do stuff like that. Jason says there's so many fake trailers out there. The real one hasn't come out. Oh, there are some awesome fake trailers though. I'll have to show you after. There was a really, really cool one that I saw. Mike from We Watched the Movie reacted to it, I believe. But there's some really cool epic trailers out there.
Is there?
J-Dad says, I'm pretty sure Michael is Laurie's brother. Oh yeah. Lori, they're not brother sister.
I think that
Jason
that
said, what
theory.
Yes, Jason said, what if Michael Myers is, I think you mean Laurie Strode, is not Laurie Strode's sister. What if Michael Myers is not Laurie Strode's sister? They're not related. There's no way they're related. I think they've gone out of their way.
They did away with that. Yeah.
They've gone out of their way to establish the fact that they're not related. I don't think they would go back on that at all. I don't see that happening at all. The Ox says, I don't like how the trailer for Halloween Kills made me feel about the movie. So I'm sticking to my guns and I'm still not going to watch any trailers for Ends. Every day is going to hurt. Yeah, man. But I know a lot of people that are like that. I know, my cousin, he doesn't like watching trailers for things. He's like, I don't like watching movie trailers or TV trailers. Like, I just like to go into something completely blind. And he says he swears it makes the experience better. Like even I was talking to him the other day.
Do you want to try that? Or, I mean, of course, for the podcast.
I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do that. Which I don't care about that much. I mean, I know there's some people that really just want to walk in completely blind, and I'm not one of those people. I physically cannot bring myself to do it. Like the Stranger Things 2, they're the volume Stranger Things 4 volume 2 trailer dropped the other day, and I was like, I want to talk about it with you, but you didn't watch it, So, but again, I get that though. I understand. I completely understand that. Joseph Wells says, "Do you guys like Scream?" I appreciate Scream. Scream has never been top tier horror franchises for me. But I appreciate what Wes Craven did. I mean, I think Scream is, the original at least is an amazing film. I still haven't seen Scream 5, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, ain't no shame.
I'm not in a rush to see it. I'm just not. I'll watch it eventually. We'll cover all the Scream movies on Purely and Simply Evil one of these days. We will. But I'm not like dying to watch them anytime soon. So what are your thoughts on Scream?
I unfortunately do not watch that either. I do get that Scream is just as impactful as Halloween, but I would say that's like for like the newer generation of
it's the newer generation's Halloween.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And because you obviously have legacy characters and all that stuff, and if I'm not mistaken, Scream is about to get into a lot of fucking heat right now.
It's already legacy character. It's been in heat.
Like I started reading more. I started like hearing some news about one of the main characters or legacy characters for that matter is like not wanting to return because of that salary cap, which is shitty. That's how the movie business works. So with that being said,
I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her at all. But
I don't blame Nev. I mean, Nev Campbell built that franchise. I don't blame her.
Yeah, I totally get that. But like moving past that, like as the franchise itself, Scream is definitely like one of the most influential movies out there. Like you got Michael Myers' mask, William Shatner's fucking face, and then you also got the fucking Scream mask. So like those two are without a doubt. You have out of the three most like influential like horror mask, it's honestly, I would be honest, man. Jason is at the top, Scream is second, and then Michael Myers is third.
I would think the
opposite.
Well,
if you think about it, yeah, there's
you
way
can
more
find
Jason.
you can find a lot of hockey masks, even if it's not a Jason mask. It's a hockey mask. It's like
though, like you could find like it's more it's the popularity is out there more.
Well,
and I can remember because I remember owning like a Jason mask. I remember owning a Scream mask. I've never owned a Michael Myers mask, and I'm sure you could say the same for yourself, because obviously I am right in that aspect, because if you look behind you, I can confirm that.
Y'all know I own some. I've got all of these that I've painted up here.
Yeah.
Except for that one. That's a NECA 2009 remake mask.
Which NECA makes some pretty good products, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'll have to go. You guys don't really get to see the whole room a lot. I got all my I did a room tour, so you've seen it, but I've got quite a few Jason Hawks that I've painted over the years that that was a fun little. I was really into doing that. That was another COVID thing. Just being trapped at home, I was like, well, let me buy some paint on Amazon. Let me get some hockey masks.
Thus, I'm gonna pushing the narrative that I'm pretty sure Brad combs Michael Myers' hair, all of his masks.
I don't. Okay, listen. Miguel is adamant on the fact that I sit and like comb the hair on these Myers masks. Like I don't.
Well, there ain't no way there. It's perfectly slicked back like they are, man. I'm just all I'm saying.
My H2 is not slicked back. My H2 looks terrible right now.
Yeah, is due for another brush. You know what I mean? Kind of like a car and its oil change. Pulls it back.
Bro's hair, I'm dropping.
Bro looks nappy as fuck.
Bro's hair is not slicked back. It looks terrible right now.
Probably because you're too busy putting your hair around it, putting your hand around it. Yeah, doing that shit. He's like, oh, it's time for a new one.
No,
God, is that a giant bald spot in the back of his head? What is he, Donald Trump?
I could give it a. I could give it a mohawk. I could just put gel in and just be like the whole rock mohawk. I'm kidding, you dick.
See what I'm saying?
That was a joke. I repainted this one. It's not great. It's not fantastic, but it does the job. It looks cool. It's fun. People repaint masks. That's not that. If you're in the Halloween.
Hey, what's that? Hey, what's that brush doing behind you?
You're a dick. I just let it be known. Miguel sucks. So yeah. See ya. Peter. No, you're welcome, man. No worry at all. JT says you're not missing anything on Scream 5. It's not a bad movie, but side note, Scream is the first movie I ever saw in theaters. Yeah. Really? That's pretty cool, man. I couldn't tell you what the first movie I ever saw in theater. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I ever saw in theaters.
I remember the most the big influential movie for me. Like the first movie I remember seeing and just being completely in absolute awe.
Stop. Count of 3, we'll do it, because it's just. I think it's the same for me. All right.
But it's no. But are you talking the first movie? Because I don't remember. This isn't the first movie.
No, like the first movie that was so influential for you, like in the theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. King Kong.
Peter Jackson's King Kong. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Look at that. It was the most influential movie.
I mean, seeing Peter Jackson's King Kong in the theater was like. It was amazing. It was like the cool, as a child, that was like the coolest cinematic experience ever. Like it was just, it was mind boggling to watch. So it wasn't the first movie I ever watched in a theater, but it was just. It was
without a doubt one of the most beautiful science fiction soap opera we have ever seen.
Yeah, 100. And that actually ties into one of our channel updates, which we're gonna get to. Join us Tuesday. I don't have it scheduled yet. I'll do that tomorrow, but join us Tuesday night when we talk the Black Phone, because we're gonna talk a couple of channel updates too. Again, all good things about things that we have coming to the channel. So there's to kind of continue. We haven't really heard very much about Halloween Ends. Jason Blum had tweeted this on May 19th, so a while ago. He said, and guess what? I actually saw Halloween Ends last night. But that was a while ago. This was the first thing we had heard about Halloween Ends in a really long time. We hadn't heard very much before that. So that was kind of the first thing we saw. And the rumor mill has been turning. One of the ones that's kind of, I guess you'd call it a rumor, although I feel like it's not really credible enough to call it a rumor. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of misinformation, and some of it could turn out to be legit, but some of it seems so wild and out there. I'm like, how are people really thinking this is going to be legit? But this one's like circulated through the Halloween community on some YouTube channels, on Twitter, saying that Michael dies in the first third of the movie. And I mean, I could stand to be corrected, but a source didn't have to tell me this, but there is no way in hell they're going to kill Michael in the first third of Halloween Ends. That's outlandish to think that is actually going to happen. I mean, that would make everything in 18 and Kills practically irrelevant.
Meaningless.
You know what I mean? It would just be who cares anymore? Are you kidding me? Really? So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of I'm really? People really think that's gonna happen? There's a group of people that actually believe that the CinemaCon trailer showing Laurie and Michael fight happens at the very, which now there's two different ideas here. I could 100% see that fight that they got at the CinemaCon trailer between Laurie and Michael. Laurie left the hospital it was a deleted scene, but Laurie left the hospital at the end of Halloween Kills in that deleted scene. Whether or not you want to consider that canon, I don't know. But I could see Halloween Ends starting with the little bit the prologue to Halloween Kills. I could see that, the prologue of Halloween Ends being, we start on the same shot of Michael looking out the window that we ended on. We end Kills the same way that we start Ends the same way we ended Kills. Laurie leaves the hospital, goes to Myers' house, or goes to his house. They have a brutal battle because he knows that she killed Karen. Maybe the battle that they saw from the CinemaCon trailer is the same night of Halloween Kills, but maybe Michael escapes after that, and then you get the Halloween Ends drop, and then we cut and we jump 4 years in the future. Maybe that happens.
I could see that.
I could see that happening, but I don't think that I could see that being legit. But I could not see him dying in the first third, and then it's about something else. But it wouldn't make any sense. I would walk out. That would be a moment where I'd be like, all right, deuces, I'm out. Nope. I'm not doing this. This is not gonna matter. So yeah, please nobody subscribe to that rumor. Okay. There's no way. There's just no way that that's going to happen. It's not. Another thing that's been big right now is the reshoots. As we all know, Halloween Ends has gone in back to Savannah, Georgia for a couple of reshoots. Now, we can't attest to what, or should I say, how much of the movie is being reshot. I've heard a couple of different things. I've heard maybe a third of the movie. I've heard, maybe they're just touching some things up. I can't attest to what or how much of it is being reshot. But it could mean a couple of things. Number one, it could mean something bigger, like Malika Akkad and Universal weren't happy with certain aspects of the movie and said, hell no, you got to get back out there and do it again. They give them the old football slap on the tush, and while you do it. Or It could also mean, hey, there were just a couple of things we wanted to touch up. We wanted to make a couple of tweaks. No biggie. We're just going to go back and we're going to reshoot these. And I think it's important to note that, I mean, it's not unprecedented for movies to undergo reshoots during post-production. I mean, look at what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness did. I mean, I would say, honestly, the majority of films go through reshoots when they're in post-production.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But kind of interesting viewer anon. If you follow, that's a really good Twitter follow for, inside scoops, inside information on the, on the film industry. Had this to say, tweeted on the 19th of June, Halloween Ends goes back for reshoots in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure how much of it will change, but as of now, from what I know, it's not just a Michael Myers kills a lot of people and Laurie Strode has to stop him sort of movie. There are other factors and threats at play. This movie has not had a public test screening. What I know is based on script information I'm privy to and some sources working on the film in various capacities. But right now, it's more interested in the boogeyman than just Michael Myers. Basically, this is an early 4 months out call to ready yourself for something different and don't hate it just because it's different. They made their Carpenter love letter in H 2018. Their ultimate slasher movie in Halloween Kills, and this is going a different way. Miguel, do you have any immediate thoughts on that? Because that's packed. We're gonna break that down a little bit because there's a lot that was just said about that.
No, let's hear yours first because I really got to sit on that real quick.
So kind of the first of these 3 tweets, Halloween Ends going back for reshoots. We already know that. Not sure how much will change, but it's interesting that they say, as of now, it's not just a Michael Myers is going to kill a lot of people and Laurie has to stop him. When I replied to Mike's tweet from Wham, and I had said, when I read the other threats thing, I was like, what? Like, I was kind of like taken back a little bit. But then I started to think about it. And I started to think, going back to, I think it was J-Dead's comment, like earlier in the stream, kind of talking about this cultish thing. A lot of people were attributing the rumors of this cultish type deal to the Cult of Thorn because we know that we've seen the Cult of Thorn before. I doubt it's going to be I doubt it's not going to be the Cult of Thorn. Some people have even made references to Season of the Witch and the Silver Shamrock Company and all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be that either. After reading Viewer Anon's tweet, other factors and threats at play, what if there is a group, what if largely the focus in Halloween Ends is on people actually convinced that he is some sort of supernatural boogeyman? Like, what if people are, I mean, because you have to think, all these people in Haddonfield watched him get the holy crap beat out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he got up and walked away from it and still ended that entire mob. I mean, and he did the, I mean, I almost think the idea of people being convinced that he's this supernatural being. And there's weird people out there that would be like worship of him, and I'm not saying people will worship him in the movie, but what if there is this group of people that believes he is supernatural? Like he's a demon. He is the boogeyman. You know what I mean? He is the shape. Like that could be interesting. And that could be something that the other threats thing, like, even given what we know about Sartain in 2018 making reference to Glass Hill. There's a really great Fandom Empire video about that. They do really great inside work on this franchise. About Glass Hill and like maybe the asylum is like wanting him to study him again. The whole thing with Sartain and that kind of coming full circle. I don't know. That kind of struck me. So do you have any thoughts about that, Miguel, about the other threats and other things at play other than Michael and Laurie having their big final battle? As he's deep in thought.
What I could say in regards to like outside threat would definitely be in regards to like the actions that Lori committed. Like everyone, this is so because of the mob. The mob started pretty much because of Anthony Michael Hall's character, but he was doing it in the name of Laurie Strode. So therefore, and the reason why Chief Barker, old boy is probably not going to get reelected next coming term. His way of of saving himself is by indicting someone or finding someone responsible for these killings. Because remember, Michael did kill these people. He killed a lot of people, but he's not there to answer for the crimes. So
Right.
therefore, somebody needs to be there to take the fall.
Yes.
And that's where I think Chief Barker is going to look at Laurie Strode for the blame.
Ooh, that's interesting too. I think I don't know. Let's continue. Let's go to the second tweet because Viewer also says the movie has not had a public test screening. What I know is based on script information I'm privy to and some sources working on the film in various capacities. Here's the interesting thing though. But right now, it's more interested in the boogeyman than just Michael Myers. I think there's something to be said about that. I think even going back to about the idea I mentioned earlier, I was listening to a podcast that Sean was on from Fandom Empire about this whole idea that Michael is going to be shown differently. His presence and the way that his character is utilized in this movie is going to be differently than we've gotten before. Mm-hmm. I would love if we went back to how he was, because if you look at the original Halloween, Michael was just in the shadows. He was just he was there and then he wasn't there. If he is nowhere, he is everywhere. Like that kind of, like it was just that he could be anywhere. It's like what made the ending of the original one so scary. When Loomis looks off the balcony and he's gone, he could be in your bedroom. He could be at your school. He could be in your living room. Like he's in your closet. Like he could be anywhere. The boogeyman is a bigger concept than Michael Myers. So I think the idea of people really believing, oh my God, he survived gunshots and he survived this brutal beating and he survived the fire and all this stuff. Plus, Loomis shot him 40 years ago, and he got up and walked away from that. Like, you know what I mean? I think there's some legitimacy possibly to the fact that we could see Michael as a legitimate, or not see him. I don't think we will see him supernatural. I don't think we're going to see him like regenerate a limb or something. You know what I mean? Like anything like that. Or like
I think his supernatural. I think his reputation is going to become supernatural.
Yes. Perfect way to put that. His reputation in the community and how he is seen, they will see him as supernatural, even if we still see him the same way he's always been. You know what I mean?
So like again, this would be Chef Barker doing what he does and saying like, oh well, it wasn't Michael that did it. It was just some crazy guy who just they're gonna blame it on that poor old guy that was killed by the mob at first, and the people that died afterwards are just going to be going to be that poor old man's victims. Yeah. And they're still going to blame Laurie Strode for the actions and consequences that happened in this movie and Halloween Kills. And Chef Barker is going to continuously blow off the fact that it was Michael Myers. He's going to keep pushing that narrative, be like, it wasn't Michael Myers, and it was just this mental patient that died, earlier in the film. But there's obviously people that were watching that entire fight unfold. So therefore, the rumors of Michael Myers will still live on. And when they see and the eyewitness that saw Michael Myers get back up after being beaten and shot and stabbed 100 times and just get back up and kill the entire group, that's where the rumor starts. That's where his supernatural rumors start coming to fruition. Because right now he's only just a crazy guy that's in the mental hospital in this particular trilogy. So I think when they push that narrative of all these eyewitness testimonies and showing like how there's no way any man could have gotten back up from that bout, and then adding to Chef Barker continuously trying to shove or what's it called, throw Michael's killings under the rug and just like use that mental patient. I forgot what his name is. What is his name?
Tivoli.
And how they keep using Tivoli as the scapegoat. That will continuously push the narrative of Michael Myers' boogeyman reputation.
Yeah.
That came out right out of my ass, and I like that.
I'm glad you like that, sir. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought, and it's definitely something to kind of keep in mind as you move into Halloween Ends. Again, and another thing he says, basically, this is an early 4 months out call to ready yourself for something different. And don't hate it just because it's different. They made their John Carpenter.
They think it's gonna be shit to some people. They know people are not gonna like this movie, and it's like whatever.
Well, and it's a great point that Viewer Unknown makes. And they made their John Carpenter love letter with Halloween 2018. Mm-hmm. Their ultimate slasher movie. Again, watch Michael Myers just go ham on people in Halloween Kills. This is going to go a different way. This is going to be their movie. You know what I mean? You had a job with Halloween 2018. You had a job. You had to tie it into the original. You had to tell.
You had to keep the legacy alive.
You had to keep Laurie's. I mean, largely 2018 was really about Laurie. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it wasn't necessarily about Michael. Michael was the villain, but it was really about Laurie. Mm-hmm. I think if you look at this trilogy, Halloween 2018 is about Laurie. Halloween Kills was about Michael. Halloween Ends, I think, is going to go a different, like as it said, go a different way. It's going to be more about Michael's legacy. Yes, we're going to wrap up the Laurie and Michael story. Yes, it's going to be the end of this trilogy, and I do believe it's going to be the end. I know there's talk of being like, oh well, they can keep going with Allison, or Why? He's going to be like in his 70s in this one, like. Mm-hmm. We can't. He can't be hitting people with his cane. Like he can only go so much more. Like bro's in his 70s. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like it's interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I think I'm gonna try to go into this one with more of an open mind. Because Halloween Kills, I went in very much like this is going to be like the Infinity War of this saga or of this franchise. This is going to be all hands on deck. The story is going to be great. And the story didn't 100% do it. I liked it, but the story didn't 100% do it for me. Mm-hmm. But again, I loved the Michael stuff. So I'm very interested to see how they portray Michael. I'm very interested in this, I don't know exactly what Cave Dwellers is referring to. I don't know about this group of people, like Viewer Anon said, about being interested in the boogeyman more than just Michael Myers, and kind of his legend and what the legend that he is leaving behind after the events of 1978 and 2018, plus whatever the hell is going to happen in 2022 when Halloween Ends. Mm-hmm. So I think this one's very much going to be about Michael's legend and his story and the legacy that he and Laurie are going to leave behind. So that's kind of my thoughts on what Viewer Anon has said. And to wrap us up, again, guys, if you're watching, be sure to leave this a like. And if you're new, consider subscribing to our channel.
Yeah, because I noticed a couple of new folks in here.
I did. We noticed some new people. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. So real quick, another Jason Blum tweet from the 18th. He said, everyone needs to chill and go see the Black Phone. Then we'll discuss the new news. That was an interesting one. That kind of turned some heads, and a lot of people went to the trailer. When I read that initially, I was like, that doesn't.
It was literally because that's where I got the trailer theory from. But after this conversation, I kind of figured it was just going to be like, guys, just shut the fuck up. Okay, Halloween is later. We got this new movie out. It's killing in the box office, is killing in the ratings. Go check it out. It's a great one.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why that was mentioned, because they know that Black Phone is like their golden egg, at least this year. They know Michael Myers will pull in a lot of views, but they're like prime like horror film that's gonna like, get some critics buzz. Well, it's definitely gonna be Black Phone. Like
100%.
Ethan Hawke looks fucking scary and diabolical.
I'm really excited. I'm legitimately really excited to watch it tomorrow. Annalisa, I just watched it. Welcome. What did you just watch? Oh, are you talking about Black Phone? Oh, Black Phone. I understand. Dumb. How'd you like it? What do you think, Annalisa? Thanks for the comment. Brad Ellebrecht says, "Cool show. I enjoy tuning in." Thanks, man. We really appreciate that. And we share a name, so I mean, come on, you love?
I don't, but cool.
You don't matter. No, I'm kidding. I love you. Please still.
You get your name, and I get the mustache. So fuck you.
Please still hold me in bed at night. So last big Halloween topic, we've talked about the trailer. I'll break these up and release them throughout the week as well. But we've talked about the trailer. We've talked about some of the rumors. We've talked about kind of the legacy of this franchise. We've talked about what we think Halloween Ends will be. But there were a couple of interesting things. Jason Blum did. Yeah, he says Brad is a cool name. Brad's an awesome name. Jason Blum did an interview with Screen Rant, and it was mainly about the Black Phone. I don't know. Should I screen share this, or we'll just read it?
Screen share it. Why not?
All right, we'll screen share it. Let me pull it up. Okay, Lori. Let me just a second here. So Jason Blum did an interview with Screen Rant mainly about the Black Phone. I did not know
Jason Blum looked like that, guys. I'm sorry.
That is Jason Blum. But he did give us a little tidbit about Halloween Ends in there as well. So I don't really even need to read this. We know about the Black Phone. We're going to see it tomorrow. We're going to do our review. But to kind of skip ahead to, it does look creepy. I got to say, it really does look pretty creepy. But to kind of skip ahead a little bit, to the actual interview, they did talk about the Black Phone. I'll link this in the description as well, so that you can kind of go through and read about the Black Phone. It was pretty cool. But one of the interesting things that was said was about kind of franchise rights. And the interviewer said, one of the interesting things he said was, we want it so bad, talking about Happy Death Day 3. But the interviewer said, I just did an interview yesterday with Robert Englund, which was iconic, Robert Englund, who of course played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But when I was doing research for it, it led me to a tweet from you saying that you want the rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th so bad, but it hasn't happened. And Jason Blum replied, I really do. Did you have that conversation with him? Is he interested? The interviewer went on to say he has said multiple times he is done playing Freddy because he's 75, but I feel like if you got it, you could make it happen. And Jason Blum said,
that's some big dick energy right here. I know, right? Here with some big dick energy. He said, I could make him back.
Jason Blum said, I could make him come back. I can get anyone back. Ellen Bernstein came back. Ellen Bernstein was 87, and I got her back in The Exorcist. So, of course, then the interviewer says, there you go. I think if anybody can do it, it's you. Jason Blum said, yeah, 75. He's young.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and let's talk about that before we go into what he said about Halloween Ends. So not only does Jason Blum want the rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, but he's convinced, even though Robert Englund has said 100 times that he does not want to play Freddy anymore, that he thinks he could get Robert Englund to come back. And we know that, obviously, and I feel like people are kind of forgetting about this a little bit, but after Halloween, the next big horror franchise to revive is going to be The Exorcist, because they are doing basically the same thing they did with Halloween, but they're doing that for The Exorcist next. And I think David Gordon Green is signed on to do that as well. along with Jason Blum. So here's my thought. I am a hot listen. If Blumhouse gets the rights to Elm Street or Friday the 13th, I'm down. Sweet, cool, awesome. Do it. Get naked while you do it. I don't care. But I don't want to see Robert Englund back. And that's not a knock at Robert Englund. I love Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. I think he brought a lot to that character. I mean, we talked about this in what episode number 12 when we did Freddy's Revenge of Purely and Simply Evil. They actually got somebody else to play Freddy in Elm Street 2, and the guy was so bad they're like, we got to get Robert Englund back. We got to get him back. Nobody can play Freddy like Robert Englund, but he is 75. I don't know the story of what they're going to do with The Exorcist. I don't know Ellen Bernstein. I don't know what her role is going to be, but in this Exorcist revival. But I mean, if Robert Englund, think about it logically, man. If Robert Englund was going to play Freddy again, he would have to be doing all the Freddy stuff. He'd be having to run after people. He'd be having to fight people and do this weird these action sequences and I mean I don't think it would work. And that's not to say that he can't do it, but I think it would be good to bring new blood into the Elm Street franchise. Honestly, these would make good episodes of this show too, to talk about, what we would like to see from an Elm Street remake or what we would like to see from a Friday the 13th remake. So, I mean, Miguel, would you like to see Robert Englund return as Freddy, or do you think it's kind of like, let that ship has sailed, let's do something new and fresh and bring a new face into, well, I guess, let's burn a new face into that character?
I would say let's give it a shot. If it doesn't
with Robert Englund,
sure, let's give it a shot.
Oh my god,
let's give it a shot. Why not? I would say already, like, well, let's not let's see what he can do. Obviously, not like make a movie and do it. Like, let's see if Jason Blum actually like can make it happen with him, like, in post production. And if he can't, then obviously they'll do another one. I just want to know that they tried with Robert Englund. That's all.
The only way if they announce tomorrow that Robert Englund was coming back to play Freddy, I would be thrilled. I'm not saying I would be like, oh crap, like I wouldn't be like that. But I think the only way that I would be happy, like really truly down for Robert Englund returning, is if they did kind of what they've done with Halloween and they got rid of all the sequels other than the original. But I really don't want to make a habit out of that, because I like a lot of the Elm Street sequels. I mean, we just did our commentary for Dream Warriors, so that episode of Purely and Simple Evil is going to be coming out very soon. But I just like I don't want to make a habit out of getting rid of all the sequels. But the only way I'd be okay with Robert Englund coming back is if you did a direct sequel to the original one and you brought back Heather Langenkamp and you brought back, everybody else is dead, the character or the actor. But like if you brought back Heather Langenkamp to do it, I don't. But
I said, if you're going to bring Robert Englund, like, you have to bring back Heather and all that. That's all I'm saying. Like, all the legacy characters should be in there.
I would rather see something new. I really would. And listen, here's what I would do. Here, my thought on Elm Street is I would like to see a movie about, or even a series. It would work really well as a series too. If you did a series about, maybe it's a murder mystery thing where, it's about Freddy before he becomes like a demon and he's supernatural. It's a murder mystery thing about these parents, and it would be dark, it would be really, really heavy, but about even finding kids, and just about this whole the police are trying to track him down and the parents take it into their own hands and they do all this stuff, whatever. And maybe that film ends with the parents killing Freddy at the end of that film. And you can even do maybe the final scene is Freddy. You see him in the makeup, you see him burnt, the supernatural version of him in a dream. And then the second film of the reboot, you can do a real remake of the original Elm Street with Nancy and I mean, you can do all that stuff. I don't know. That's what I would do. I mean, I just feel like if we keep going back to Robert Englund, we're never going to move on. We're never going to move on, and I know it's nostalgia. People want that. People want the nostalgia. They want to see what they loved from before back in this, but I don't know. There's something about it. I don't think it's for me. I'd like to see it. It ain't me, yo. I want to see
ain't for me, yo. Ain't for me, chief.
So,
well, yeah. I could totally see both ways, but I personally think that it would be nice to know that Blumhouse at least tried with Robert Englund.
I agree. Wouldn't it be nice if but yeah, and honestly, and I know a lot of people are happy about Friday the 13th. Make no mistake, I want to see more Friday the 13th. I do. But I kind of think that there is way more to do with I think there's way more to do with Elm Street than Friday the 13th right now. Because I think the legal stuff is still not where it needs to be. I think we're closer than we've been in a long time to getting another Jason movie. But I don't know, A, how close we are legally to being able to get it. And B, I don't know what I think of a story for Friday the 13th. I mean, do you reboot it? Do you tell Jason's origin story again? Do you do the Pamela thing again where she's the killer in the original? What do you do with Friday the 13th? At least with Halloween you had options. With Elm Street you have options. With Friday the 13th, I'm just kind of like, what other options are there? You know what I mean? Without going all Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason X on it, just wild and crazy. Where else do you take that story that's new and different that you haven't gone before? So I don't know. But kind of one of the interesting things was when Jason Blum started talking about Halloween Ends. Because they asked him, "You've also said that you've seen Halloween Ends," and he replied, "I did. I saw it about 2 weeks ago. It's very good. I'm very excited. We have a few things to fix on it and finish," referring to the reshoots, "but I'm very excited for our last Halloween movie." To which the interviewer said, "Is that really going to be the last?" And he replied, "I didn't say it's going to be the last Halloween movie. It's our last Halloween movie. We have no more rights to make any more Halloween, so it goes back to Malik Akkad. And what he does, only he knows, but we are done, and this is our last one, and I think people will be very happy."
Oh, it goes back to Malik Akkad. That just opens the conversation about Michael's fate, now that I think about it.
Here's the thing. A couple of things that this brings up. I know on Fandom Empire they had mentioned a rumor of Halloween of the franchise moving towards Paramount. Don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of I don't know how I feel about any of this yet. I'm not sure where I'd like it to go. I don't know what I want. But who knows? It could come out and they could say, "Hey, Malik really liked what we did and we're going to keep the rights." But the way Jason Blum has talked in this interview saying, it's not the last Halloween movie, but it's our last Halloween movie. I think it makes sense that this is going to be kind of their swan song. This is going to be their big finale to what they started with Halloween 2018. And I think it should be. I don't think even if, let me give you a couple scenarios. If Blumhouse did keep the rights, let's say Malik said, "Hey, I want you guys to keep them." If Blumhouse kept the rights, I wouldn't want a Halloween remake in 2 years or in 3 years or in 5 years. Wait on that. I would want them to go the Season of the Witch route. and I would want them to kind of do a Season of the Witch movie or a reboot or a series or something with Halloween 3. And then maybe for the 50th anniversary, do a reboot of Halloween in 2028. Now, I actually have my thoughts on that, and I'm actually in the process of writing my own treatment, if you will, about kind of what I would do with a remake, and that's going to be an episode, or I'll save that. Watch Tuesday, you'll know what I'm talking about. Watch our show on Tuesday night for our channel update. But I think you could remake it in a while. If it does go to another studio, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to do a Season of the Witch thing. I don't know if they're going to just immediately want to remake it. I know people have wanted a Halloween TV series for a long time, but I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I feel about it would have to be done almost in the style that the Halloween comic books have been done in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would just have to be kind of wild, like just go crazy with it, so I don't know. I mean, what would you like to see next from Halloween? What comes next?
What I expect and what probably will come is most likely just a TV series. That's pretty much what I would see. A TV series of Halloween, because that's usually how it goes about. Put that shit on Sci-Fi and let it just.
Oh, no. I don't think it'll be on. I don't think it'll be on normal TV. It would be a streaming service, like a limited. That would be my guess. I hope they don't do what they did with Chucky. Oh, I hope not. That would be awful.
Yeah.
But I do want that. Like, I hope they do something refreshing. I don't want it to be a complete remake of the original movie. Like, I think it needs to be something different. I don't want to go too far into my thoughts because I want to save that for a video. But I think it would need to be something different. They would need to go in a different direction. And I'm not saying do anything crazy with Michael. I'm not saying you have to get rid of Laurie Strode. But I think that in terms of being tied to the original 78 movie with, John Carpenter and Nick Castle and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think this needs to be it. I think this needs to be the big finale for JLC, and this needs to be the big finale for John Carpenter. I mean, this needs to be the end for all intents and purposes of that original timeline. And again, remake it in 10 years. Like, I don't want it to be the last Halloween movie, but I want it to be the last Halloween movie of this timeline. I think that makes sense, and I think it's logical for this story to come to a natural conclusion. So, you heard it from Jason Blum himself. I mean, this is not going to be the final Halloween film. What Malik Akkad does with the rights is going to be very interesting to see. I'm not against it going to Paramount. I'm not completely for it going to Paramount. I mean, I don't know. But, I do think that, as we kind of wrap up here, I mean, Halloween really has brought back like a whole, what Blumhouse, love or hate the Blumhouse trilogy, you have to admit it's brought back like an entire new love and an entire new interest in slashers and in horror films again that we were kind of lacking for a lot of the 2000s and things like that. So final thoughts, Miguel.
In regards to what? The future of Michael Myers or
everything? Future of Michael, Halloween Ends, your sister's butt. What else? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
Okay. So with Jason Blum's future and what he wants in regards to like Halloween and the rest of the horror icons and horror rights that he may or may not come the rights to, I think it would be interesting. I think it would be, if anyone is there to revitalize a lot of these horror icons, I think Jason Blum is the one that could do it. I'm not gonna lie. Jason Blum could be the one that could revitalize a lot of these horror icons in regards to Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. Obviously, a lot of those are, up in the air in regards to like what those rights are even established are. So
yeah,
it won't be for a while until we see Jason Blum get his greasy white Caucasian claws all over the fucking all over these franchises. So, but we'll see.
You heard it from Miguel, folks. His greasy white Caucasian claws. I like it. I like it. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. 2 hours and 10-minute episode. That was a long episode, but we had a lot to talk about. We talked about Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios' next big saga. We talked a lot of things about Halloween Ends, where the trailer is going to be. We kind of talked about some of the weird rumors and the weird ideas out there. We talked about what's next for the franchise. Lots of things. Please be sure, as always, we want to hear your thoughts. This is, again, a community to share your thoughts and to talk about things and to speculate about things. So be sure to leave us a comment down below, or if you're listening on Spotify or any of the podcast platforms, tweet at us at We Talk the Movies. The handle's right there on the screen. Let us know what you think, and we want to hear what you have to say. So that's going to do it for us for episode number 80, our 80th episode. We are going to sign our AARP cards right now. I'm kidding. So thanks so much for joining us. New episodes of Let's Talk Movies and Purely and Simply Evil premiere every single Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Talk the Movies. Be sure to join us Tuesday night for the full review of The Black Phone. We will talk spoilers. We'll drop our spoiler-free review tomorrow night as soon as we walk out of the theater from the parking lot. And I'll split this episode into some clips as well and drop them throughout the week. So you guys are awesome. Let me get this last comment real quick. The Oct up, he throws up his peace sign in the pumpkin. So guys, enjoy the new outro video. Worked on this one this week. So we will talk to you guys soon. Peace. We love you.
Love you.
Take it easy.